Deputy Leader of the United National Party also expressed views regarding education at a public meeting held in the Dadigama area in Kegol.
The government which rules the country today is the one which has led all the students who are preparing to sit for their advanced level examinations into a blind alley.
Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca says that dictators who have destroyed nations have always projected themselves as patriots. He made this observation at a public rally held in Galevilla. Dictators who destroyed nations have always claimed that they were patriots. Now they have started calling our rugby players traitors. Something which has never taken place anywhere else in the world has happened in our country. A player who was representing his country in his first year was made captain the same year. So players who had been in the national side for 6 to 7 years said they could no longer play. In the end, they were labelled traitors. One player was burnt alive in his car on a Colombo road. As a country, we have become deeply indebted. I will give you one example. In 2007, we took a $500 million loan that was to be repaid by 2012. That is this year. This year, we took a $1 billion loan to repay the previous loan of $500 million. We are $4 billion in debt to China. My friends, very soon we will become a colony of China. There are already 3 disciplinary inquiries pending against me in my party. But I believe that after this, it will become 4. But I have come onto this podium to do my duty to the presidential candidate of the common opposition led by the UNP. Regardless of what disciplinary inquiries are held against me, regardless of whether I lose my seat in parliament, I will stand on this podium to do my duty by him.
Democratic National Alliance parliamentarian Arjuna Ranatunga says that the government has failed to punish politicians involved in incidents of child molestation.
If you delve deep into this matter, then you will see that the people responsible for this are either government ministers or local political leaders. It is the local government leaders who are responsible. I must mention one thing to you. Up to date, the government has not punished any one of these individuals. I recently held discussions with the Mahanayakas on whether I should table a bill in parliament calling for the death penalty for rapists and child molesters. Because if something like that is not done, then it will be difficult to see where this will end. Incidents of this nature take place with the protection of political leaders.
මේක කොයි වෙලේ නවතිනවද කියන එක අපිට හිතා ගන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද මේ සියලුම දේශපාලන නායකයන් ඒ ආරක්ෂාව මැද්දේ තමයි මෙවැනි දේවල් කරන්නේ.
MP Arjuna Ranatunga expressed these views at a meeting held at the DNA office in Kalutara this morning.
Individuals who were selected to the law college from the eastern province were first stated at an event in Colombo this evening.
Retired High Court Judge Amir Ismail was the chief guest and General Secretary of the Citizens Front. Parliamentarian J. Shivranga was a guest of honor at the occasion. An idea was expressed recently that the language of instruction for lawyers should be in English, that English is a necessity. If that is the case, then only English schools must be built in areas like Mullaitivu and Saint Mardu. Who should be served by people who studied law in English? Can you explain things to a client in English? Earlier, Parliament and the law used to run parallel to each other, but now it is different.
Leader of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, Minister Rauf Hakim, says that security is more important than development. He made this statement at a public meeting held in Ampara today.
One sort of terrorism has been destroyed. However, this government needs to understand that another form of terrorism is rising. This form of terrorism is affecting Muslim people in other areas of the country rather than those residing in the north and east. That is because a situation has been created in these areas where the Muslim people can no longer go to a mosque and worship without fear. We need a solution to this problem. Leave development aside. We are hoping for a permanent security solution for our community.
You're watching News First.
Staying on local news, relatives of the Sri Lankan fishermen who are being held hostage by Somali pirates claim that none of the authorities have come forward to help them.
Somali pirates hijacked a vessel known as the MV Albador on the 28th of November 2010. Several Sri Lankans were among the crew. The vessel was hijacked about 900 nautical miles east of the Somali capital of Mogadishu. The 23-member staff of the vessel consists of 6 Sri Lankans as well as sailors from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Iran. The chief naval engineer of the vessel was Nalinda Wakwella, a resident of Maharagama. His wife charges that neither the shipping company nor the relevant officials have come forward to secure his release. The owner is in Malaysia. He said that they would collect money and they would save the ship, but they only saved the Pakistanis. The rest of the crew is still there along with the vessel. Meanwhile, the AMV Orna was hijacked by Somali pirates in December 2010. Second engineer Sarath Surasena, who was the only Sri Lankan aboard, is still in the custody of the Somali pirates. Surasena is a resident of Sheltonwatta in Dorangoda.
We received word that the owner of the vessel had abandoned everything and left the country. We cannot get through to him. The pirates have gone and dumped the detainees in the Sahara Desert.
When we made inquiries regarding the matter, Secretary to the Ministry of External Affairs, Karunathilaka Amunugama, stated that the Sri Lankan embassy in Kenya is holding discussions to secure the release of the hostages. Meanwhile, the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, shared these views at a multi-religious media briefing held today.
It would be good if the government and the External Affairs Ministry makes an effort to secure the release of these individuals. I have spoken about the matter with the President as well. I asked him to help find a solution to this issue. Our next request is to initiate legal action against these shipping companies if it is possible. When a shipping company employs someone, they accept responsibility for their security in a way.
It has been 1 year, 8 months and 9 days since 6 Sri Lankans aboard the MV Albador were taken hostage. Meanwhile, it has been 1 year, 7 months and 27 days since the AMV Orna was hijacked with 1 Sri Lankan on board. The fires which broke out in the Ohia and Idalagasina forest reserves have been doused. Deputy Director of the Badulla District Disaster Management Unit, ELM Udayakumar, said that the fires had spread over a period of 3 days.
Deputy Director of the Badulla District Disaster Management Unit, ELM Udayakumar, said that the Army, Air Force, Police and area residents had engaged in a joint operation to douse the flames. With the prevailing dry weather conditions, fires broke out in the Ohia, Idalgasina, Patipula and Wangikumara reserves on Friday. The inferno had then spread to the section of the reserve above Ohia and Idalgasina railway stations. The Disaster Management Centre says that over 1,000 acres of forest land had been destroyed by the blaze.
45 forest fires reported from the Badulla district. Total area damaged due to forest fires, 3,000 acres. Effects of setting fire to forests. Possibility of landslides during the rainy season. Permanent damage caused to biodiversity of the area. Adverse effects on water sources. The President orders strict action against arsonists responsible for forest fires. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera appoints a committee to formulate regulations. When will these regulations be formulated and when will the arsonists be punished?
You're watching News First Primetime News here on MTV Sports. Up next is a look at Action TV.
Officials of the Colombo Municipal Council were once again unable to explain in court as to why the mayor of the CMC decided to temporarily disband the council's flying squad. A fundamental rights petition which challenged the decision to temporarily disband the flying squad was taken up in court for the 4th day today. The flying squad, which was established 35 years ago, deals with acts of fraud and corruption taking place at the municipal council. It was on the 15th of February that the mayor of the CMC advised the commissioner to hand over responsibilities of the flying squad to the internal audit department. On the 19th of this month, Action TV had its first revelation on the matter, and immediately afterwards the mayor responded by stating that he disbanded the flying squad as the squad itself was corrupt. Even though the council appearing on behalf of the CMC attempted to justify this claim in court, he was unable to do so during the first two hearings of the FR petition, which was filed challenging the mayor's decision. The Chief Justice inquired from the respondents as to why the responsibilities of the flying squad have not been vested in the Internal Audit Department, even though a period of 6 months has already lapsed. The council appearing on behalf of the CMC requested court to grant him a period of 3 weeks in order to submit a report on how the duties of the flying squad would be distributed. Thereby, court decided that the 29th of this month would be the final day to submit this report to court. Even though the mayor chose to hand over the responsibilities of the flying squad to the Internal Audit Department, the department itself is in disarray. Incidentally, the Internal Audit Department is currently without a proper administrative head. As a result of this, officers attached to this department have been misusing CMC resources. A clerk working in the Internal Audit Department who has no right to use an official vehicle of the CMC was seen heading home after work today in a vehicle belonging to the council in this manner.
The Ministry of Petroleum and Petroleum Industries has decided to conduct an audit on all instant purchases and stock management during the past year. Thereby, Minister Susil Premajayantha has instructed the Secretary to the Ministry to inform the Auditor General to conduct a full investigation into the matter. Now, the audit is to be conducted covering the period between 1st of August 2011 to 31st of June 2012. On a related note, up next is a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day.
On business news tonight, Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa says that the government's target is to work towards increasing per capita income in the same manner it worked towards infrastructure development. The minister revealed that 43,000 graduates have been recruited to implement projects for this purpose.
The Kirinduvela supermarket complex in Gampaha was vested in the public today following the renovation. Our infrastructure development program is being implemented systematically. Next, the incomes of every individual must be increased. It is His Excellency the President's target to double the income of every individual within the next 4 years. If you are earning 1,000 rupees, then in 4 years you will be earning 2,000. That is the target that he has given us.